Well, welcome to another episode of the disembodied head or disembodied body having a conversation. Today, I don't really know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about like a few different things, but I don't know like what to like focus on. So I think I'm just gonna start yapping, and we'll just go from there. Uh, Work was like it wasn't as bad as it has been in the past. So that wasn't too bad to deal with today. Now I did listen to some pretty interesting things today. Well, throughout the past few days, I've been reading this book called Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy, and I'm not gonna like it's not a niche thing. Like Cormac McCarthy is a pretty well known American literature author. Rest in peace, Cormac McCarthy. But anyway, this book, it takes place like after the Spanish American War or the Mexican American War, but like before the Civil War. So it's like Americans are hunting down Indian. Well, I guess the colonizers are hunting down Indians, and Mexico is also like giving people money for Indian scalps and things like that. So it's pretty brutal book, but like I think the book is it's not even like yeah, it's about that, but it's more like I mean, I'm only on my first read through, so like and like I'm not a very learned man, so like I dropped out of college twice, those of you that know. But like yeah, so like I'm not I'm just delving into this because I think the subject matter is interesting, and I think the way that the story is being presented is also very interesting as well. But it's more just like an exploration of like humanity, I guess, and like humanity at its worst, and like what is the actual point of war, I guess, or like violent acts, like things like that. It's very interesting. I'm not gonna pretend like I know a whole lot about the subject because I don't, and I'm also not gonna be like a dude bro about it and be like, "This is the best book I've ever read in my whole life." Like I'm not gonna do that because that's kind of goofy. But like, yeah, like it's interesting. It's a cool book. I think it's if you can handle like uh subject matter that's like upsetting, then I think you should really check it out, especially if you have like an interest in like historical fiction and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty cool book. I've never read anything quite like it. Um, yeah, it is pretty cool. Anyway, let's get to part of why we're here. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this out just because I don't want to get fricked by YouTube. Man. But yeah, so I was reading some of that today. Well, listening to it, and for those of you that have like read the book, like like it is a difficult book. Like I'm not like it is just like not difficult. Like yeah, it's difficult in terms of subject matter, but like if you're like desensitized to that kind of stuff, then it's like not like obviously what happened at that time and just throughout history in general. Like horrible things have happened, but like um that specifically, there's so many different like layers to like the depravity of that time, um like all around. It's like we have people coming onto this land trying to colonize it and not doing it in a very friendly way. We have the tribes that were here natively, with one of the tribes really like dominating over all the other tribes. We have the Mexican government at the time offering money to anyone that brings a Native American scalp. And it's just like there's so many different forms of evil, and like there's no like real like good person in that whole story. Um, and like it's just a very interesting, it's just cool. Or not cool, like obviously it's not cool that a whole race of people were essentially genocided, right? That's not cool. But or like hunted for sport, or just to get something as trivial as land, right? Or take something like that. Anyway, I don't want to get into the weeds of it because I'm not educated enough to like really talk about all the specific um, things that all of the things that were happening at that time. I'm not educated enough to really like speak on a bunch of it, but like I feel like yeah, it's bad to do what they're doing in the book. I feel like yeah, that's clearly bad. But it's more just like everything, like what the book like represents with its characters is what I find like so interesting and cool. And it's just like so intricately woven together, man. It's just such, it's very cool. It has really cool like commentary about race at the time. Obviously, I mean, the book takes place in the mid 1800s. Yeah, there's gonna be a ton of like racism and shit. Um, and just seeing like the gang and how they operate, like they have like Indians in the gang, and they have like the for those of you that don't know, the book it follows the uh I guess events, for lack of a better term, the events of a gang that was popular at the time historically, or not popular, but like it was a big gang at the time, led by someone named Glanton. I'm not super like obviously I don't know all this information off the top of my head. I just started reading the book like a week ago, so it's like it's still pretty new to me, and it's they didn't really like teach us about this kind of stuff like in school, right? So it's like learning about all of this and how brutal this time really was. Like, yeah, obviously I knew it was brutal, but like reading about how it was brutal and hearing other like historians being like, yeah, this is probably a pretty accurate representation of what was happening during this time period. It really puts it into perspective, because it's like you just think about the fact that like this was happening like really not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. It's just crazy to think about, man. It's wild. Just seeing this level of like lawlessness and depravity, like, and it was like condoned by a government, is wild. It's crazy to think about. Just thinking about how life really did not matter that much to people like in this time period. It was just like a commodity. It didn't matter, or at least to some people. It's weird. It's really cool. It's a very eye-opening like reality, at the same time. And then you have the judge, bro. It's like you can't talk about Blood Meridian without bringing up the judge. And it's like I can't get a read on this guy. Like I'm so intrigued by like how the ex-priest Tobin was saying that all the people in this gang met the judge before they joined the gang. So it's like, just think about that, because they had like 14 men in that story that Tobin was telling, right? Like somewhere around there, and they just stumble across the judge in the desert. So it's like in that story they stumbled across the judge, but all of them have met him at some point or seen him. It's like he's like this omniscient like composer of all of the events of the book. And it's just like it's like it's like they're all predestined by the judge to travel with him, right? It's just it's so interesting to think about. Like, and I'm very excited to see how this book keeps going. And like I know generally like what happens, but I obviously I don't have the ins and outs of all of it, right? So I'm very excited to keep trying to read it, and I ordered a physical copy of it today because I want to read it physically and out. And as nerdy as this fucking sounds, like I want to take notes on it while I read it too. Like do a fucking little mini book report for myself when I'm done with it. And it's like it's such a there's just nothing else I've read that's been like it. And that I guess that's the reason that it appeals to me so much. This is a very cool book. Yeah. So that's the book I've been reading um, for the last few days or week, I guess. Um, I really want to check out Monster Hunter Wilds. I almost said Worlds, so that's why it kind of sounded strange. Um, like I really liked Rise. I didn't play it a whole lot because I didn't really have any buddies to play it with. But Monster Hunter Wilds looks really fun, and I want to check it out because I mean, like I know every Monster Hunter game generally has like the same weapons or like has all the old weapons plus whatever new weapons they add. But sometimes they like change stuff around. I mean, I'm a new fan to Monster Hunter, so like don't come for my shit, please, fans, okay? Or like fans of Monster Hunter that watch this, do not come for me, bro, please. But yeah, like this game, like my favorite weapon in Rise was the insect glaive. So like seeing how it got changed. I know it got changed. I don't remember how, but I remember watching a trailer and seeing that the way it operates is different now. So I really want to check that out for that reason. Um well, sorry, I'm just lost in thought, dude. You know, I thought about picking up guitar again. Um, I really want to like try to get like proficient at it at some like again because like I used to play acoustic guitar like growing up, and then I just kind of quit for a while. But I've always done it like off and on for like years. Like every couple months, I'll just be like, oh, I really want to learn this, and then I'll pick up my guitar and try to learn it, and it's very hard, so I stop. But I'll like grind for a few weeks, and like my fingers will get super calloused, and then I'll just like stop. So I really want to keep going. I want to try to get really decent at guitar playing. It's just such a fun. It's such a like fun skill to be able to do. It's fun. Plus, I gotta find a different pastime than this kind of stuff once the little guy's here. Because I mean, y'all can say what you want, bro, but like I just think like I don't know. You shouldn't be smoking when you got like big responsibilities like that. Like when you're doing something that requires you to like be present and like aware of exactly what is going on. But a lot of people do it and they like normalize the shit out of it, and it's like weird as fuck to me. It's like you're telling me that you guys like genuinely go drive after you take a like after you smoke a blunt, or you smoke a blunt and drive. It's like I don't know, man. I know a lot of people do it. I know like generally that's seen as acceptable by a lot of people, but it's like I don't know. I just think that's wrong, bro. Like it's like irresponsible. Like it's like you like it or not, you're still putting other people at danger, dude. And it's like I don't care how good you think you are, bro. It's like I just really don't. It's just not a good call, man. It's like you just got to think about like other people that are driving, and like their safety. So it's like, you might feel safe doing it, but like you do until you don't. It just happens. I feel like generally everyone just thinks they're friggin' invincible, man. Like they don't think anything bad could happen to them, and that it might happen to someone else but not them. And it's like that's what like everyone who's in a car accident probably says, or probably what they think as they're in the accident. That it just feels like an out of body experience, probably because it's just feels like it can't happen to you, right? So I try to stay wary on the road, especially where I live, because it's just like, man, I live in like a pretty decently sized city, so a lot of people drive crazy here, so you really got to be super defensive every time you drive, or else you're gonna end up like, either at at best pulled over for what you're doing, or at worst, like, you know, making 270 fucking pile up. So, I mean, it's like, okay, that's kind of a rude way to say it, I guess. But it's like, you know, that is also kind of sad. It's like, think about like how annoyed you get like whenever like traffic happens, like on the drive or on the interstate, and then like you see that it's a wreck and you don't really care about it in the moment, but then you think about that shit and you're just like, damn, that's like somebody's worst fucking day happening, or like someone's worst day in their life is happening like right there. Like someone is about to get news on it and it's about to be like the worst day that they've ever lived, right? So it's just like, damn, I just feel bad every time I like get pissed off that there's like traffic because of a car accident. It's just like, damn, I really shouldn't be getting like bent out of shape because like I don't know. That's you know, I have it fairly easy compared to what someone else is going through right now, you know. Dude, I'm trying to get this thing out and it's just not coming. Okay. There we go. Whew. This might be my send off because I've been yapping for a minute and this is probably gonna murder me. So let's do a before and after real quick. Okay, here is before. Here is after. That was actually a super nice hit. That was very smooth actually. That was pretty enjoyable. Man. Oh dude, Legend ZA got an official like reveal and like I'm just okay, you guys gotta understand, bro. When you are a fan of a series that like genuinely has gone downhill like this, like dude, okay, here's my thing. Scarlet and Violet at its core, I believe were good games, right? It's like I liked going around seeing the Pokemon in their habitats, seeing them doing their thing, you know. It was cool and like the map was fun to traverse. Like I did really like that forest area up at like the northwest of the map. I thought that area was great. I loved the bamboo forest in that same area. It's just a good like it's a good area, dude. Like you know the game has good stuff about it, right? And like Area Zero is amazing. And the epilogue was great. I really liked the epilogue. I liked just seeing Area Zero, and the music was amazing. You know, music absolutely smacked, and you know, like and the designs of the Pokemon I really liked. I really enjoyed Tinkaton quite a lot. She was like the MVP of my team. I named her Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss because it's like look up the Pokemon. Yeah, that's Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss all day. So it's like I had her, I had Baxcalibur. He was like I kind of just put him on the team because he was the pseudo dragon of the region, and it's just like you know like I always want to use those because those are fun, right? But this one, I don't really know how I feel about it. It's kind of just like whatever to me. I thought Dracloak was amazing, but I didn't use it in my Sword and Shield playthrough, which you know, I kind of want to do a Sword and Shield playthrough right now because it's like I haven't played that game in forever, dude. But let's see what else. What else? Um, why did I go? Why am I talking about Sword and Shield right now? Okay, yeah. So back to Scarlet and Violet. So the problems with all of that, right? The game runs horrendously, and like I don't want to hear I don't want to hear nothing. Okay, like you guys look me in my face and tell me that going to anywhere in the game, anywhere on water, it chugs to like 12 frames per second, no exaggeration. It's like full stop, dude. Like the game runs terribly, objectively horribly. There is no redeeming it. it is genuinely unacceptable. You know, that game should not have launched like that. That it blows my mind that we have something like Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch able to look and run as well as it does. And then we have Scarlet and Violet on the same system, which looks like it should be able to run good because the graphics are not great either. They're terrible. The texture quality is horrible. Like the texture quality of the Pokemon are great, but like on the environment, like it's terrible. It is genuinely some of the worst stuff I've ever seen current generation titles. It's crazy, dude. It's insanely bad. And it just bothers me that people look at that and say that it looks fine because it's like, dude, no, it doesn't. Like, it really doesn't look good, okay? Like, we can acknowledge that the game has very good stuff about it, like Area Zero, like the Pokemon designs, like the music, like the areas. I think the areas are cool in the concept of what they are, you know? Not that they're actually good, because they're not. They just aren't, dude. Like they're it's just like shadows coming into like rendering in 5 feet in front of you is crazy, and that's what the whole game is like. It's like you can't defend it, bro. Like you just can't. So with all that said, um, it just it really does kind of ruin the game for me because it's just man, it's so rough, dude. I just wish they had more time because I feel like if they were able to literally if it looked the same but the shadows and the frame and the FPS weren't terrible, I don't really think I'd have that much of an issue with it. I think I would just be like, wow, this game looks really ugly, but like I like the core game. I would have been able to be like that. But you can't even be like that because it doesn't even run. It doesn't even run well, dude. So it's like it's impossible to defend Scarlet and Violet. Like it's just you were willfully ignorant defending that game if you do because it's like it has issues, bro. It just does. If Sony put out a game like that, like and paraded it as a first party title, they would get laughed at, you know, or like they would have like a second what's it called, Concord on their hands. But then again, the game did sell like that, and Concord really didn't sell, even though it looked pretty objectively good, like graphic wise, I guess. So I don't really know what that says. I think it's just that Pokemon is a huge game or a huge household name, and it's going to sell regardless of how it looks. I think that's just what it comes down to. Man, that was huge. That was really big. But yeah, dude, I could rant about Pokemon all day, all night. I am so down to talk some shit about Pokemon, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. I grew up with Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I, I'm. It has a very special place in my heart, and I don't think I will ever. I will never not check out the new Pokemon. Like never. I will. I will play it. I will finish it, and I will have thoughts about it. I never want to talk about BDSP in my life ever again. That game is an insult to my use of free time, to the human use of free time. It is an absolute disaster. Hate that fucking game. Okay, anyway. That's all I gotta say about that. I forget where I was going with this. But yeah, man, like, I'll always love Pokemon. And I just want it to be better than it is right now. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I would really like for it to be like in a better state as a franchise. So yeah, that's all. yeah, me and my wife have the day off tomorrow, and we're gonna go give our puppy a bath. She's not a puppy anymore, but she's almost 2 years old. It's crazy. I can't believe 2 years have gone by that fast. This dog is so cool, dude. I love this dog. She's a great dog. Um, but yeah, we're gonna go give her a bath tomorrow because she really needs it because it's been super muddy. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess that's about it. Um, well, if you enjoyed the video, cool. I'm glad it. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, just listening to some dude rambling. Can't even see my face, but I feel like it's a cool vibe. I don't know. It's cool. Wait, what if you can see my face this whole time? I feel like you can't, but anyway, if you listened and enjoyed, thanks. That's all. Anyway, bye.